Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. This week I thought I would try something a little bit more relaxed. I wanted to just chat a little bit as you come along with me working in my sketchbook. I recently started using the Arteza watercolor book, as I mentioned before in the past reviews, and I haven't done a whole lot of work in it because I just haven't had a lot of time. I have so many art projects going on. Tonight even I am going to attend the local last Thursday art walk. So up until now I had been working on some commissions, and about a week ago I finished that piece that is in tonight's show. So yeah, just a lot of things going on. I have mentioned before too, I also work part-time and I teach private lessons. I do art full-time, but there's so many things to work on that I don't always get to play around in my sketchbook and just go for a silly piece like this. So ever since I was little, I always liked drawing personified animals. I really dig illustration and children's book style illustration, so I think you can really tell by this. And the image was kind of inspired by my own cat because she is my fur child, and I am pretty ridiculous. I like to imagine her in very human-like scenarios. So this little cat girl is just like a child playing with a doll. And despite the color, I think the features of this cat really remind me of my own Shakti, so there you go. I started off with a light pencil sketch and then going in with one of my favorite tools ever. It's the Pentel Pocket Brush pen. And again, I am not sponsored by Pentel. I would love to be, but I am currently not. I just really like a lot of the products, and this is among one of my absolute favorite art tools. I really love the fluidity of it, the thick and thin lines you can get. It's just a really fun tool to play with, in my opinion. Now this one's kind of messed up. You can see that I have that little swatch paper that I keep rubbing the tip on. I have had this particular pocket brush pen for a little while now, and I recently really messed up the tip. I got really rough with it on a piece that is in the beginning of the sketchbook that I'll have to share with you at a later point. I did a lot of like dry brushing effects with it and was very aggressive with the tip, so I need to find a better way to do that. I guess I'll keep this messed up one specifically for those rougher areas, and I got a replacement because I really need this pen in my life. Guys, if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it, but I do suggest that you get extra cartridges, because if you're not really comfortable with brush pen work, it does take a little bit of getting used to. And if you're anything like me, you're going to get addicted to the pen and you're going to want those extra cartridges right away, because guys, it's so much fun. I had to let the image dry for an extended period because it is ink, and unlike the pens, it does take a little bit longer to dry. I don't remember exactly how long I waited. I just did this recently, but it's a couple days now since I finished it that I'm doing this voiceover, so my bad. Not as fresh in my memory. Not that it takes long, I have not a great memory. So after it dried, I went in with my favorite watercolor palette. It is a little set I curated myself. This is I think it's called the Magello palette. It's a 16 well watercolor palette that has, as you can see, two small mixing areas closest to the wells, and on the other side there's a really big area the size of the lid, and it's actually a clear tray and then the white tray. I always leave the clear tray in there because I need a white background on it anyways. And if you notice, I have my little post-it note that has listed all the colors that I have in the palette. I picked the colors that went in here, and I didn't really organize them that well because when I started this palette I didn't own all these colors yet, so I left gaps where I thought I might grow, and it turns out I would like a completely different layout. It's okay, but I would really like a completely different layout. But these are the last of most of these paints. I think most of them are Winsor & Newton in this one, and I am replacing little by little as I go with Daniel Smith. I was trying to use a limited palette of 3 of Daniel Smith, and I really like that. It's taught me a lot about color and made me a lot more confident with color mixing. but the whole purpose of having a little bit wider range of colors is to not waste time and for consistency in color. I used to work at a music store where we did basic instrument repair, and the store sold tiny violins down to 1/16 size, and I thought it was so cute, and I always imagined my cat playing those. So this is kind of in the same vein. I definitely personify my cat a lot because she is my fur baby, and I like to imagine her in little scenarios. I thought her little dress was cute too. Kind of reminded me how my mom used to dress me up like her little doll when I was young. I also used the Princeton watercolor brushes from the Velvet Touch line for this piece. It is a number 8 long round here. And I think I also used the number 2 long round. I just bought these two together, and they're not super high range or anything. I think they're really middle. But I am absolutely loving those brushes, guys. If you've never tried them before and you're curious, I'd say go for it. They're really moderately priced, and they come to such a great fine point. I absolutely love that number 8 round. It has been my go-to lately. But I really like watercolor. It's definitely not my strongest medium. I have done it a lot over the years, but I feel like it's probably the paint medium I am the worst at. Maybe gouache is really close in that too. I've only recently started using gouache, so I don't feel very good at that medium either. But it's a lot of fun, and I think it's great for my sketchbook as well because it's very fast. I can pick it up anytime and add a splash of color. And I do love the vibrancy of it, that translucentness. There's just something about it that is so beautiful. I'm really digging it. If you've never tried watercolor yourself, I highly recommend it. It is so accessible. There are really affordable palettes that you can start off with that are very decent quality. You can find me on Instagram too, where you can tag me or message me. I would love to see what you all are working with too, sketchbook or finished pieces, whatever you got going on. If you're curious about any of the supplies that I'm using, they'll be listed down in the description as always. There will be affiliate links where applicable. And if you are interested in buying them, I would so appreciate if you use the link if you can. It does help out my small channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.